my opinion actually matter on this movie? You already know if you're going to see it or not, so then what's even the point of doing the review? Oh yeah, I'm a crazy narcissist who must get attention. Listen to me, people. Hear what I have to say. Feed my desires like the crazy chubby man you all know I am. Cue title scene. San Andreas is a 2015 disaster movie starring The Rock, and that's kind of all you need to know. Well, I guess you should know the plot, as little there is. Basically, it's like any other disaster movie, an overblown example of when a bad disaster can happen. In this case, the fault line of the San Andreas in California has finally decided to go haywire, and now it is attacking the earth. There's only one man who can punch California back to where it needs to go, and that is The Rock. Because he's The Rock, and he's awesome. And I don't care if his character in this movie was one-dimensional, cliche, and apart from it being The Rock, you wouldn't give a crap. It's The Rock, god damn it. Why else should I care? Because there's no other reason to care. It's basically just a movie that follows The Rock as he tries to save people from the disaster. He's a helicopter pilot, some sort of search and rescue thing, and basically you're watching the destruction. Does the destruction work as good as he does? Because all joking aside, he is good in this movie. Like I said, his character is one-dimensional and flat, but he's able to bring that right amount of charisma and personality to actually make me root for the guy. But does the rest of the movie hold up? The CGI, as I was about to go into, sort of. The CGI is okay at times. You can sort of see the big thing that's been going on where it's how do we make it look realistic versus how do we make it just look all out, balls deep insane. Because of this, it's really inconsistent, and I found it to be jarring and distracting. But when it worked, it was fun, and I was in the movie. You see that giant wave in the trailer, but that's not as big a deal as you expect. There's a lot of cracks opening up in the earth, and you see cars going in. I'm like, oh man, that looks cool. Why can't the rest of the movie be this consistently good? And the rest of the acting, apart from The Rock, is pretty plain. You have Paul Giamatti for the second time in 2 years, basically just being there so that way you can say, we have a classically trained actor on our hands. The rest of the cast doesn't really matter. It's The Rock's wife and The Rock's daughter, because that's what it always is, and you couldn't give two shits about him. The daughter doesn't even look like The Rock. And that's sort of what is this movie's big shortcomings. It hits all the notes of disaster movies and does everything they always do, but doesn't really, it has the same problems of all the disaster movies, and that's, it's fine when it's the destruction, it's fine when it's the action, it's the adventure. I can even tolerate the bad CGI to an extent. But the problem is when you're trying to work in the character development and the personality and all that, and unless you have someone like The Rock who knows how to take small, simple roles and add that right amount of himself to make it work, you're just stuck with a pretty flat movie, and that's overall what this is. The Rock really couldn't save it. However, if you like disaster movies, if that's your thing, you'll love this film because it does all the disaster movie cliches. I am not a disaster movie fan, so all I can say is that San Andreas is a 5 out of 10 at your own risk. If you like I said, you like the big, dumb, silly action movies, and I do from time to time, you'll like this movie. I just thought there was way too much of the bad stuff of this genre for me to look past it. But what did you think? In the comments section below, give me your thoughts on San Andreas. Your favorite disaster movies, your favorite Rock movies, whatever you want. And as always, click to like and click to subscribe. And please keep feeding my addiction.